I built this game by telling AI what I wanted. But vibe coding does not mean typing "make me a game" into Claude and praying. The real skill is in turning your idea into instructions AI can actually act upon. So I was having a ChatGPT chat, and I had an idea to make a game called Destroy a Skyscraper. If you want to check this out, it's published on Roblox. It is linked in the description below. But basically, it's a game where you build the skyscraper taller and taller, and then you demolish it to get money, and you pay for upgrades, rebirth, and repeat. It's a simple idea, and it works for AI to code this and even make the basic build because it was not overcomplicated. I wasn't asking it to build a giant Brookhaven style map. I wasn't asking it to make the next jailbreak. I was simply having it produce a simple simulator. So what I did was I was talking to ChatGPT first. So I'll usually do that. I'll describe the idea to ChatGPT. Why do I do that instead of just jumping straight into Claude Code or Codex and having it start to code the game? The reason for this is ChatGPT will help refine the idea and make it better than my original thought. So you don't always have to do this, but I will often describe it to ChatGPT. We'll talk about it. We'll build this idea up. We'll make it better. We'll let it criticize it and pressure it into being a good idea that we're ready to make. And then after I'm happy with it, I tell it to make me a prompt. So I just said, make a very brutal, detailed prompt to have the full core loop one-shotted and to make it not slop. So this isn't like a sophisticated prompt, right? I'm just telling it to make the game, and I'm just having it take the idea that we already had and just kind of build that through Claude. So I took this prompt, I put it into Claude, and it built the game. I was using Claude Fable, so I was using actually the most advanced AI model in the world at the time. Now people say that GPT 5.6 is better. I still think Fable 5 is better, especially at Roblox development and understanding user intent and making a cohesive game experience. But right here, if you take a look at this, you will see that it made this prompt, and then we had to continue working from there. So it's not like it was just one and done. We came up with... Actually, I had it adjust the prompt once so that it could show kind of more detail on every single model and core effect so it can't mess it up. So I actually had to rewrite the prompt once. And the reason that you want to do that and really squeeze detail out of these models and say maximum detail is because AI will otherwise half-ass it. It will do a very incomplete job. But if you tell ChatGPT, hey, force it to make these models and effects detailed, plan that out in this prompt, tell it meticulously what to do, you'll actually often get a better result from Claude. So I had it do that, and then after that I put that adjusted prompt with more detail on the assets inside of Claude, and then it worked. It built it. And then basically what I did was I screenshotted. So now this is where I start taking a look at the issues and I criticize it. So I'm like, hey, this game is too bloated in the back area. Each of the items looks good, but it's way too bloated. It's full of different purchase stands. And I need it to be made so that the purchase stands are not clustered in one area. I want it to be physical purchase stands, but it's bad how it looks. So I had it do that. Basically, it figured out what the new layout should be for all the purchase pads, and we gave it this prompt, and then it figured out this new layout where they're on the left and right, and made the game look less bloated. So you can see it can kind of do basic builds. It's not super good, but it was able to make what I needed and adjust it when I found issues in it. And then after that, now you're just seeing me kind of continue to iterate on the game from there and add in things like rebirthing. I didn't add that in the original one. And I basically described how it should look, making the UI very unique looking. So I will emphasize these keywords like make it unique, make it detailed, make it fancy, because those things actually push Claude to kind of do a better job. It's funny, you'd think that, hey, make it look fancy wouldn't really do much, but it actually does because it tries to put more detail in. And a lot of people don't like AI generated UI. They're like, Smarty, don't use that, it looks bad. But honestly, what I find is the UI looks pretty damn good, if you ask me, when you tell it to make it detailed, when you actually try to prompt it beyond just make the UI, bro. If it isn't just a basic one and done thing, you can get a better result. So it went on like this for a while, and do I think that every single thing needs a prompt generated by ChatGPT? No, but it helps because it can collect your ideas and then structure them in a way that Claude can understand and go into specific details you would not have thought of or had the patience to type out to Claude. So I was describing like the basic idea, how to make the core loop, and then I was iterating and fixing issues. And then from there, I was adding in missing systems. These prompts worked because they're really specific. And you don't always need specificity. Like sometimes it's a small adjustment. There are prompts that I did to Claude that did just have like, oh, hey, move this UI, change the color of it, make this small adjustment. Not everything needs to be maximum detail. So don't think you have to do this ChatGPT method every time, but it tends to work well for me. And you'll see me when I'm on my lives where I vibe code almost every day and stream this type of stuff, that is what I tend to do. I will cycle between those depending on what the task at hand needs. If it's simple, I'll just prompt it myself, maybe even use voice prompting. Even if it is a little more complicated, I'll often describe a feature directly to Claude with voice prompting. That can work really well to edit things. But if I really want it spot on and I really want it to be a well-made, detailed feature, I will go to ChatGPT, talk about it. It'll refine that idea and turn it into that prompt that I give Claude. So this game was not perfect at first, and it did take easily multiple days, even a week of different edits and different sessions vibe coding it to make it work. So don't think that it's all just a smooth process. You do need to fix bugs, and you can tell the AI to fix those things. You inspect what it's made, you identify where it failed, and then you give AI a narrow, specific correction. You tell it, hey, fix this issue, da-da-da. And you go in detail of what the bug is, and if you have any idea what it could be or what could be causing it, do give it that information, because oftentimes you might catch things that it doesn't, which is surprising. It's the AI, it's supposed to be smarter. Yeah, but you as the human programmer often know things that it doesn't, or you just come to the conclusion faster. If you have experience, your intuition as a developer is very helpful. It's pattern recognition. So AI could create the basic version, but it didn't entirely make the effects the way that I wanted, right? AI, you have to understand, it can make the systems you want, but it doesn't automatically have taste. So you see these effects here. I actually went in and I prompted it, hey, make the screen shake whenever this happens. Make this little red indicator. You can see this red indicator on screen. Make this little red indicator when you are blowing it up. I also told it to do all of the construction workers running to rebuild it, the crane popping up. These explosion effects and things were really heavily described by me in how I wanted it to look. Same for the rebuilding thing. I told it to add the sound for that. So do know that the taste, and especially in how the game feels to play, has to come from you. And you can prompt AI to make it technically, but don't expect it to automatically make a satisfying, enjoyable experience the first try. AI does not make entire games yet. A lot of human judgment comes in. You have to understand. This is not a perfect world where we have a one-click, make a game, red button. Nope, there's still work here, and you got to know that, and I sure know that. I'm a streamaholic, up to 12-hour streams of this stuff. You should subscribe now with notifications on to catch us on those lives and see the process in action. So AI gives you the throughput to make things, but you are the one who supplies the idea. You're the one who keeps the continuity of the project, makes it continue to even be made, and you provide judgment and direction towards an actual playable, fun game that you think could work on Roblox, or at least something your friends and you would want to play. So vibe coding is definitely changing Roblox development. It's not perfect yet, but if you know how to direct it, you can make a pretty decent game and really get a lot done with it. If you want to learn how to start vibe coding, get my free vibe coding guide in the description. There's going to be a link here after this video is out. That will teach you how to get started with this process and some things I've learned about this along the way. But I also have a video for you that will show you how to learn the basic ropes of this too. And you can click that here to learn now how to start to code with AI and make these types of experiences and even build basic UI and builds with UI, because MCP allows us to do that. Catch you there. Peace out.